Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Yep, here's Jay. And Jay is very happy to be here. Jay is very happy to have things to do while stuck here at home, like most all of you are. And I hope that you are doing what you're supposed to be and protecting you and your family and friends. So, what more can I say? But call in 951-922-3532 and talk to me. Especially, I'm really looking for people who are adverse to reverse mortgages and stuff so we can have a discussion. But welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio, where we contemplate retirement and how to best prepare for retirement and how to best stay happily retired. So let's be thankful we have friends. Let's keep talking to them. I'm using video like Zoom, Hangouts, and Skype more than ever. I think we should all try to do that. In the old days, I never wanted to because who wants to see what I look like? After all, we've had video calling for, 20 years, and nobody really uses it much because of that. But I think we need to see each other more and more now. So let's keep talking to everyone that you know, them and you go nuts. And after all this is over, and it will be, let's keep doing it the same way. So please call, email, or visit drheckham.com, drhecm.com. And, just in case I didn't say it right or whatever, that's what it is. And, or if you like doing things a little longer, then there is the educatedretirementradio.com. Or just email me at bestloantoday@gmail.com. And be sure to jump over to that YouTube channel link about halfway down the first page. There's a lot there, including all the shows and separate segments just for the guests if you don't want to hear me, as well as some of the more interesting short snippets, some of them pretty funny. And please subscribe once you're there. Once you are on the website, remember there are many, many, many articles written by very professional people about the subject itself. So remember, review for your best knowledge so that you know your options and future choices. My off-air number, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233, and knowledge, as you know, is power. And when it comes to the HECM or the reverse products, know the facts, compare the numbers. It's much too important an issue to ignore, and you certainly don't want to eliminate it based on not fully understanding it. So remember that equity availability programs like this is not a belief system. It's not religion. It's just math. The flexibility and security it gives is much more even than math. Bob Slater, hello. How you doing? He's looking at us on Facebook. So one more time, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233. bestloantoday@gmail. Why? Because you need to know more about the choices you really have and how to protect what you already have and have worked for so long. I have a team of experts that can help you and will help you. So please make use of us all. Call me and I can direct you to anyone who you hear on the show and others. Or look for them on the YouTube station because the contact information is always given on the videos. So today we've got a pretty varied show to talk about, and we'll first start talking about my day job, which is a loan officer at the Loan Source. And my NMLS number, National Mortgage Licensing System number, is 384566. California Department of Real Estate is 792630. So we believe in challenging the status quo, and we know that families and peoples need to be more active, not reactive. So what is this day in history? It is National Film Score Day. So I thought I would show some of my vinyl film scores. But remember, the important point, the first film, way back when, of course, silent films always had accompanying organ, piano, sometimes orchestras, things like that. The first real sound films had music borrowed from everywhere else. And, I know what I was saying. Bride of Frankenstein. Not the Bride of Jade. No, she's looking at me. That's why I said. Bride of Frankenstein is the very first film that had a soundtrack made for it and only it. I'm going to show you just a few favorite ones because, like you know, I got about 8,000 records. This is one of my favorite soundtracks right here, Ry Cooder. And here's another one. This is a fairly recent release. Really, really, really good. Bernard Herrmann, of course. And I don't think I need to tell you what this one is. This, of course, is Jurassic Park, and it too is a recent release, although it did come out quite a bit earlier also. And speaking of our same man, John Williams, we've got this one. Now, this is a very special 2-record set this was back in the digital age, but this is actually an analog redo, again by Steve Hoffman, who I mentioned the other day, a great engineer. And this sounds beautiful. Anyway, and you know what looks beautiful right here, huh? And I do have a bunch of picture discs, but there you go. And Tangerine Dream did a couple. Thief, I think, was the first one, and maybe the first film to be used with that type of music. But here was another one. Now, this is actually a redo of, what's the name of the original movie? I'll find it before the end of the show. It's only because I'm old that I don't remember. It was a redo of a French, it was good. Anyway, there's that. There's this, of course, which I've got about
Wages
30.
of Fear.
Wages of Fear, that's right, thank you. I've got about 30 copies of this and just can't find one that's good because I never got a new one. And then I saw a special on TV yesterday about midnight movies. Couldn't help think of this, which I listened to earlier today. And the Facebook one with the eyes, that is good. Anyway, hey, what about this, huh? What about that? That's right. How cool is that? And speaking of giant things, that, that's right. And one of my all-time favorites, composers, anyway, Marconi, and of course, we talked about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and how this is diametrically opposed and that this is a great movie. And I think we're getting ready to run out of time, so I'm not sure. Let me just show a couple more, and we better get running away from here. We got this, which you know. This is the actual soundtrack, which didn't come out till a couple years ago. And there was a different one before that, music from, and then, of course, the new one, which I still think is great. And just to show you, here is Russ Garcia's music for The Time Machine and his autograph. And I gotta do this. Here's a soundtrack to Planet of the Apes. And here's what came with it, inside of it. You gotta take a look at this. If I can unfold it, big job for me. What do you think, huh? I know you're speed reading. You can't. Look at that. Pretty cool. And inside It even unfolds. I'll just give you a quick one. And with that, let's let Shane, my son's name, I get it mixed up. Sean, take it away, and everybody else, hang in there. We'll be back in a minute. Oh. I hate to break into that music because I like it so much. But welcome back to the Educated Retirement Radio here on your home planet, 1490 KMET AM radio, the Mighty Met, as it once was called, and maybe again. Come out of this flu season, we might be known as the Mighty Met once again. Don't forget www.theeducatedretirementradio.com or Dr. Heckham, DRHECM.com. Got any extra time these days, by the way? If you do, look those things up or give me a call, 866-955-2233, 866-255. Did I say that? 866-955-2233. So with that, we have some people's birthdays today. Marlin Brando popped onto this earth in 1924. And left us in 2004. He was an actor with over, I put 2,000 here, but I think it was more like 49 movies, correct? And won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor. One was on The Waterfront. The other one was The Godfather. And his first foray into the movie industry was as an usher in the only movie theater in his small Illinois town. His father was a pesticide manufacturer. Kind of brings back memories of Naked Lunch and that era. And his mother, Dodie, or Dorothy, I guess, smoked, wore pants, and drove cars. Now, I don't smoke, but I do smoke cigars, don't I? I forgot. Sounds like me. Anyway, but that was unusual for women at the time. She was an actress herself in a community playhouse in Omaha. And she, while she was there, helped a stagehand by the name of Henry Fonda get his start in his acting career. And therefore, all the Fondas that came after are all from Marlon Brando's mother. So here's something that kind of threw me. I guess this was well known. So there. Marlin was a very, very close friend of Wally Cox. Wally Cox was the roommate who pushed Marlin to study acting. And Marlin once said that if Wally were a woman, he would have married him and lived happily ever after. So don't say you didn't learn something from listening to this show. He was also, Marlin is, a very close friend of Michael Jackson. Marlin's son was Michael's bodyguard and assistant. And in his final years, Marlin had his own golf court to drive around Neverland and seemed to know the name of every tree species and animal that was there. So the other big-time there's a lot of birthdays on this day. Virgil Gus Grissom came into our world in 1929 and under very unfortunate circumstances left in 1967. He was one of the original Mercury astronauts and the second American in space. His splashdown had a malfunction that he was blamed for at the time, but has since been proven not to have been his fault. And we talked about this film once before, but I still think that is a great film. But as far as that, he died during a practice run for the moonshot. He was supposed to be the first man on the moon. There's a lot of controversy over that, and we're going to have Chris Bissonette back on the show to talk about that, too. There's a lot of controversy over that incident, and we have a representative from NASA. Nellie from NASA, is that your name? Yeah.
That's right.
Is here to give us a short explanation. Take it away, Nellie.
Nellie NASA here. Grissom, along with two other astronauts, Roger Chaffee and Edward White, gathered at Cape Kennedy, now Cape Canaveral, for a rehearsal testing prior to launching the Apollo program. Up to that date, it is reported that Gus told his wife that if anything ever was a serious accident in the space program, it would likely involve him, as he expressed his criticisms to the media that the chances were very slim that the Apollo missions would never, ever succeed.
Hear that, Chris?
The crew reported a foul smell coming from the breathing oxygen system on the command module on that day, January 27th, 1967. Within a few hours of the test, a spark ignited under Gus's seat and fueled the famous fire, trapping the three astronauts to their death. Now, to make this interesting, Thomas Barron, a safety and quality control inspector for North American, was brushed off previously by Congress when he reported that under current circumstances, NASA would not make it to the moon. A few weeks later, after the Grissom fire, Barron finished his 500-page report about the failures of NASA. He planned to make it public. Within a week, he and his family were killed in a car accident.
Well, thank you for that, and something more to think about. But Jane Goodall was also born on this day in 1934, and she's still messing around here on Earth. Anthropologist, primatologist, known for her 60-year study of chimpanzee social interactions. She was the first known, anyway, that actually gave test subjects, animal test subjects, names instead of numbers. And so the names she gave her chimps were David Graybeard, Humphrey, Mr. McGregor, Flo, Mike, Goliath, Gigi, Frodo. And as a child, she was given a stuffed chimpanzee she called Jubilee. And here we go. She still has a real fascination with Bigfoot. And let me quickly, Alec Baldwin, 1958, the eldest of four brothers, all actors of some ilk, and Stephen, one of the brothers, best remembered by me anyway, for The Usual Suspects. Daniel was in Carpenter's Vampires, and my wife and I also met him at Allied Trains when it was alive and well, because he's a train collector like me. Alec was a busboy at Studio 54 and then the Actors Studios. Two studios, performed on Broadway. TV with the Doctors and Knots Landing, which is close to me because my wife loved Knots Landing. I hated it, so I would always have my earphones on listening to music on the floor some way. So my first real meeting with the man was in Beetlejuice in 1988. You know, today is also the birthday of Doris Day, which we talked about already. George Jessel, Murphy, and Buckwheat. But that's so much there, it has to wait for another show. So on that note, let's ring that note and take us a short break. Oh, I thought you meant the next one. Sorry. Okay, so. Okay, we're fine. So on this date, because this will be short. I mean, I think I made this pretty short. On this day in history, what happened? This is pretty cool. Where's my picture of this? You got to see this to believe it. One of the first alarm clocks was invented by Samuel Applegate. Had a patent, and I got a picture of it, that shows where a pile of wooden blocks hangs over a sleeping person's head, and at the appointed time, the blocks are dropped on the sleeping person's head. What do you think, Sean? That work?
Oh, ow.
Yeah. I don't know how well you can see this. Let me put it on that one. Let me put it on this one. There's a drawing right from the patent itself showing somebody having a nice sleep with a pile of blocks over his head. And that is
You sure that's not from
thing.
Mad Magazine?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think it would have been good there, but this is real. We looked it up. There's an actual patent and everything on it. But also on this day was the U.S. premiere of Planet of the Apes. And I think I showed you that earlier, but we're back with it. And that screenplay, by the way, was written by Rod Serling from a French novel. And the makeup artist on that film, named by the name of John Chambers, was also responsible for Spock's ears. So figure that one out. His ears brought in a whole new era. So at this point, I think we can probably take off for a little bit of a longer break, bring in our guest, Jackson Scharff, and then we will take it the rest of the way. So stay put, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Good afternoon again. I love that music, so I want to keep it playing. So remember, bestloantoday@gmail.com. Keep that tab on your computer for www.theeducatedretirement.com. And when you go to Dr. Heckham, drhecm.com, scroll to the videos, the radio page to listen to any show on our archives, or the video is really good because you can go there and you can look at everybody's show, everybody that's on KMET, you've got access to. And on my YouTube station, you definitely have access to all of the ones that I have and all of the guests therein. We have a very special guest with us today, Jackson Scharff. Jackson, go ahead and say hello.
How are you? I'm fine.
I think I'm okay. I'm not always sure. You know that, right? But I never want to be sure, right? If I know, I figure it's all over if I already know how I am. So that's why I try to call other people from time to time to ask them how I'm doing. It's important, don't you think?
It's very important.
Now, one of the reasons, of course, that you're here is to help spread the word about healthcare, which is a very, very important topic on this show, and should be a very, very important topic to everybody, whether they're on a show or not, because one of the more difficult things everybody has to deal with is being alive. And that all has special work having to do with being alive. So I think we need as much help with that as we can, and to also feel good. Now, Jackson, we going to call you Jackson or Jack?
Jackson.
Jackson is also a client and has had a reverse mortgage for quite a while. Maybe we'll ask him to talk about that in a little while. But right now, this is about him, not about me, but hopefully that covers both of us. So Jackson, go ahead and give us a little background on the product that you're going to be talking about, and then I've got a question or two for you, or just take it and run.
Okay, very good. Well, I've been a student of health and wellness for a long time. I had colon cancer 20 years ago,
Wow, I didn't know that. Or if I did, I'm
And
too old to remember.
yeah, and I was fortunate enough to have caught it real early, thanks to my doctor. And so they did surgery on me and corrected the problem, and I never had to have chemo or radiation. So I became very
That's
interested
great.
in health and in diet, and I asked my colorectal surgeon uh, if diet was important to my health, to avoiding another a recurrence of this cancer, and he said, "No, you can eat whatever you want. It's not going to matter." And I thought that was very interesting because it illustrates the fact that Western medical doctors, at least back when he went to school, don't get nutrition training and they don't relate nutrition to your health. So that's a problem. And of course, we have the situation where the media helps us, influences a lot about what we eat. And what we eat and what we put in our mouths really has a lot to do with our health. So I believe that our health is the most important asset we have. Would you agree?
I definitely would. In spite of what I look like, I do try.
Because if we're not healthy, life is really tough, and people struggle, especially as they get older, with maintaining their health and avoiding getting sick, and it's a problem. Do you? Let me ask you a question. Do you think who should be in charge of our health? The doctors that we go to?
Well, that's usually the given. I mean, I think it needs to be, if not a combination of both people. I mean, the doctor and yourself. That's the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, I think that's pretty normal way of thinking about it.
Primarily, I think it's us, because when you take a look at our medical situation today in the United States, we have so many chronic problems, problems that just continue on and on and on, like diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, dementia, those kinds of things.
Yeah, not to mention obesity.
Uh, well, yes, you're right, but that's something we do have some control over. Uh,
Yeah.
it's, but anyway, the 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 reason that doctors don't solve these problems is because they don't, in my opinion, they don't have access to the source of the problem, and that's key, because what the doctors do when you present with diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis, they prescribe drugs to help manage the symptoms, but they really don't know how to cure the disease. And so once we get started with a Western medical doctor, they typically just prescribe drugs forever to manage the symptoms. And that's a problem. So I was delighted several months ago to learn about a supplement that can get to the source of the problem. Okay, and here's why. Our bodies are made up of cells. We have about 75 trillion cells in our body. Everybody does. And these cells are responsible for our health. Now, these cells develop, they get together, and they make tissue. And the tissue makes organs like your heart, your kidney, your spleen. And these organs are what provide the functions of our body. Now think about the fact that if the cells are not healthy, then the organs are probably not, the tissue's not going to be healthy, the organs are not going to be healthy. And so what the Western medical doctors, in my opinion, should be focusing on and thinking about is our cellular health. Now, there were a bunch of scientists thinking about this for decades ago.
Well, that's what we're basically made out of, is our cells.
Yes,
Right.
indeed.
So if you put bad blocks together, the building will fall down. Cheap steel, and the same thing with concrete, anything.
Yes, sir. So there was a company that worked for about 16 years to try to develop something called the redox signaling molecules. And this is a new emerging field of science. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've ever heard of PubMed.gov. It's a repository for documents and for peer-reviewed documents. And right now, there's over 16,000 articles written about redox signaling molecules, and there's over 1,200 books written on the same topic. So it's garnering a lot of interest in the scientific community. So they discovered what these redox signaling molecules could do. Every cell in our body has redox signaling molecules. And what these molecules do is they communicate with each other, and they help our cells communicate with each other, so that when a cell is damaged or it's sick, the signaling molecules tell that cell to get its act together and fix itself. And a lot of times the cells are kind of brain dead, and if they don't get that message, they don't do it. So these signaling molecules are very, very important. Now, the interesting thing about it is, from the moment we're born, or the moment we're formed in our mother's womb, we are making those redox signaling molecules. Our body manufactures them. Every cell manufactures lots and lots of redox signaling molecules. So the great thing is those molecules, that's what makes our bodies heal. The signaling molecules actually direct our body to get its act together and heal problems within our body. Now, that's all great, and the issue is that because these molecules are so essential to life, our body makes a bunch of them until we get into puberty. And at puberty, then the production of these molecules starts to decline, and it continues to decline as we get older and older and older. And when those, without those signaling molecules to alert ourselves to problems and into dangers, why we tend to get sick. And that's why older people get sicker than younger people. And older people take much longer to heal than younger people. So we have a situation that as we get older, we're absolutely guaranteed that most of us will get sick unless we can get an infusion of these redox molecules that make us make our bodies actually act like they're younger.
Now, do you think there's a way to naturally get them, or at our age, or anybody, that's pretty much outside the realm of reality, and that we should be taking something specific to bolster that?
Yes, well, the redox molecules exist only in two places. The first place is in your body. The second place is in a blue bottle that this company, ASEA, puts redox molecules into. They are the only company on the planet that knows how to do this, and they have discovered a way to stabilize the body, to stabilize the molecules. It turns out that this company that I mentioned, a little technology company, tried for about 16 years to manage and stabilize the molecules, and they couldn't do it. They didn't know how to do it, and they were broke. They were running out of money. So they reached out to this guy called Vertus Norton, who was the founder of ASEA. They asked him to be on the board of directors because they knew he was a troubleshooter. And when he realized what they did and what the technology was, and they were ready to go out of business, why, he put together some investors and offered to buy the technology. Now, at that point, the technology still wasn't stable. So they hired an atomic medical physicist by the name of Gary Samuelson, and he put together a team of scientists, and they figured out how to stabilize the molecules. So about 10 years ago, these molecules became available, and they have done absolutely remarkable things for people's health, because they don't do anything by themselves except to make your body more vigorous at healing itself. The signaling molecules are messengers that direct thousands of chemical reactions taking place inside and outside of every cell every second.
So let me ask you, no, go ahead, finish yours.
Okay, they're also responsible for communication between neighboring cells, letting all the cells know the health and well-being of each other.
That's what I was about to ask you. I was reading on my own. Let me also say that I take this, okay? Always skeptical about all such things, but always ready to give them a try. I'm still pretty ugly. Didn't change that at all. But what I found, like so many people my age or even younger, I was getting pretty used to taking a nap in the afternoon when I could. I'd still work a lot and I'm all over the place. I kind of stopped doing that, and I didn't realize I stopped doing it, but I stopped doing that maybe about a month after I started taking this. And I can't help but think that that's got something very much to do with it. So cellular communication, that's right up there. It's also said to promote enhanced immune function. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's pretty important these days.
It sure is. It certainly is. Yes. And the thing about it is these molecules, they don't heal anything. They don't prevent any disease. They don't cure anything. All they do is act as a catalyst to your body. They get your body back functioning like it did when you were younger. And so it's really an anti-aging supplement that allows your body to act like it's 10 or 15
I know. I'm
years old.
102 and I look pretty good, right?
You look great for 102, Jay. You really do.
And production of your own antioxidants, instead of taking a whole bunch of antioxidants in the bottle, this helps boost the production of your own antioxidants.
Yes, it does, and it as a matter of fact, there's 10 reasons to try redox, and typically we suggest to people that they try it for 90 days, a minimum of 90 days, because when you first start drinking these redox molecules, your body's probably got a number of problems that you may not even be aware of, because as you know, disease generally takes a long time to develop inside your body, and you don't know what's happening. And so one of these days, someday you wind up and the doctor says you got X problem, whatever it is. So I just want to list briefly there's 10 reasons to try drinking redox. First of all, it supports the vital activity of cellular communication. Now, we've already talked about that. You need your cells talking to each other. And when a cell gets sick, the redox molecules tell it how to heal itself. And if it's so sick that it can't heal itself, then the molecules say, "Get your ass out of here, and we're going to replace you with a new functioning cell." And so one of the things that we encourage people to do is drink a lot of water when they're taking this, because that helps flush out the toxins and the damaged cells from your body. Okay, another thing that it does, and you mentioned it earlier, it promotes enhanced immune function. Basically, it improves our immunity. And that's important at any time because it helps us avoid disease. Because there's a lot of stuff going around all the time. Now, we happen to be in a horrible situation right now, but the thing we always want to do is have a strong immune system. And one of the things it does is it boosts production of our body's own antioxidants by up to 500%. So it really does strengthen our body's ability to fend off disease. Okay, it protects against free radical damage. While this may not be particularly important to you because you may not be a marathon runner at this point.
Oh, but I am. You can see when it comes to rolling down a hill, as long as gravity is on my side, count me in.
Okay, all right. Well, this really helps athletes. They don't hurt as much after they have a real strenuous workout. They have more stamina. It really helps athletes. Now, this product is supported by a lot of research, clinical results, double-blind studies, and so this is not smoke and mirrors. This stuff really, really works, and it's in a FDA approved. It's manufactured in an FDA approved facility that is just outside of Salt Lake City, and it's because of the fact that the redox molecules are the same chemistry as what's in your body. Why, when you drink it, your body doesn't see it as something foreign. Like if you take vitamin C or you take some supplement, most of the time your body's got to figure out what to do with it, and that can be a problem. You might wind up just peeing it out and without any effect. But this is
especially if you drink a lot of water.
Well, you do want to do that. That's so important. But so this is completely safe because it can't hurt you. It can only help you. It doesn't interfere with any medications that you're taking. It doesn't interfere with any process, like if you were doing dialysis or some other thing, God forbid, or maybe taking drips of iron.
You're hitting home with that one.
Yeah,
but it helps keep the iron from turning into rust. Is what you're saying?
You said that, I didn't, but it's okay.
But are you saying that this is completely safe for to use?
For everybody. and it's safe for brand new born babies, and it's safe for people like you that are over 100.
Now you, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
So, and it's the only it's one of the only ways that actually attacks the problem at the source. And the reason is that, remember, the source of our problems is in the cells, and this redox supplement takes care of that. Because the molecules communicate to your cells and tell them to get their act together, and so it has a great benefit over Western medicine because it gets directly to the source of the problem.
Now, Jackson, you've done a great job with presenting this, but tell us how to learn more. Do they get a hold of you? Do they go somewhere else? How do you involve? How can you involve others? What's the contact? And if that's for you, that's fine.
Yes, the best way to get more information about this is to contact me, because you can go on the internet, but you're going to get a lot of garbage on the internet. The internet is not.
Yeah. So how do they go ahead and contact you?
Okay, there's two ways they can contact me. They can call my cell phone, and my cell phone number is 714-269-5771. I'll repeat that.
Please.
714-269-5771. And that's my cell phone. They can text me, call me, or they can send me an email. And my email is jacksharff5@gmail.com. So, or they can contact you, because you know how to get a hold of me.
Oh, yeah. Every time say contact me, I contact everybody that's in there. And there's a guarantee, correct, also?
Yes, there's a 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. If you find that you don't like it, you don't want it, you return it, and you get all your money back.
Sounds pretty fair.
Yeah, this company is a...
Oh, okay. Oh, Jackson.
Yes.
Our old buddy Dennis is on the phone and wants to say hello.
Oh,
Hey,
hi, Dennis.
Jackson. Hey, Jackson, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Hey,
Good.
hey, Dennis, I want to tell you something. You did me a great favor by hooking me up with Jay, because he has
Well,
done
remember, Dennis hooked me up with you, so, and then he hooked you up with me. So,
yeah, and so, Jay has just done an absolutely marvelous job with my reverse mortgage, and he did so good. I referred him to my best friend, Eleanor, who needed a reverse mortgage, and she's and he helped her do that, and she's absolutely delighted with the process and the results. So we got a gem here with Jay Kaplan, and we need to take good care of him.
Thank you.
Right, will do. Hey, a quick question about stem cells. How does stem cell injection compare to the product that you're talking about, Jackson?
Say again, please.
Okay, how
Dennis,
does
there's something on in
your
the
product compare
background
with
that's
like a
making
stem
noise?
cell injection?
Yeah, Dennis, can you turn off whatever it is you're watching, because it's repeating for us.
Okay, it's you on the
There
video.
you go.
Okay, I'll just get off of that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Still, I'll get you off the Skype. Yeah, I was just asking about the stem cell injection versus the product that you're talking about on the show, Jackson.
Okay, well, it's the stem cell injection is, they take your cells, right, and they modify them, and then they put it back into you. That's a pretty complex procedure, and it may work in some cases. Obviously, it doesn't work for everything, but when you take these molecules, it's a catalyst. It helps your body do what it's intended to do, and that is heal itself. So it's a much more natural, it's non-invasive, and it really works. It helps everybody who's alive.
And you know what? We're all still alive, thankfully. But we have to make sure we stay that way for the time being, anyway.
Yes.
Jackson,
The best way we can.
You're
Protection,
so
and this is kind of what you're talking about is another form of protection, really.
It is, because it helps your body become more bulletproof to the stuff that can hurt it.
Yeah. Sean, I can't really hear you. Oh, okay. I have some problem on, I got with the Skype on my end. Miss Engineer Sean, tell us that we're done. So thanks so much, everybody, and especially the listeners. Dennis, Jackson, Sean, thank you again, and have a great week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Educated Retirement Show with Jay Kaplan. Tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. to learn more about your mortgage and reverse mortgages. And don't forget, each show is also podcasted on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. Thanks for listening.